Okay, so let me just introduce you to the seminar system. And you might have heard about the seminar system. And we sometimes call it ZEMI and interchangeably. And seminar, ZEMI is the originally German word, seminar. And that's partly because the Japanese education system back in Meiji era, the Meiji Restoration, when the Japan became modernized, they adopted lots of German system, education system. So some of the terminology is actually coming from the German. And so seminar, we call it zemi in Japanese, which is originally coming from seminar in German. It is actually Hitotsubashi University tradition. And this is one of the very, probably the most frequently asked question when you encounter any Hitotsubashi ICS alumni in the future. As soon as you find out yourself, and then the person you're talking to is Hitotsubashi grad, so which year did you graduate from? Class of 20XX, right? And 19XX. And then next question is, which zemi were you in? And that's how we identify ourselves. And that's how we figure out what kind of person you are and things like that. So it is actually the part of Hitotsubashi DNA. And we inherited that from the main campus. And so it is actually the main part of the Hitotsubashi ICS learning experience. And we dubbed our learning experience premium, world-class, boutique, because we intentionally staying small so that we could provide customized learning experience. And the seminar is a very important part of it. And every student is asked to join one and only one zemi through your enrollment in the program. And which means that you need to select which faculty members seminar that you want to join. And what we typically do is there are a bunch of different things: academics, career guidance, social functions, and then the zemi will actually stay in touch even after you leave the program, graduate from this program. So lifelong mentorship is the part of the system. And that's why that the alumni identify themselves with which zemi that they graduated from. And so they stay connected with the faculty members and they stay connected with the current students. And so how it is run, it's completely up to each zemi. So that given year's seminar faculty member and the student members who got selected to join the seminar jointly decide what they want to do. Having said that, of course, each faculty member has their own focus. So has its own focus and style and personality. And how often they meet and how long they meet, it's completely up to seminar. But the minimum, they are expected to meet at least 26 hours a year because it is the credit earning course. And so you're going to get the 2 credits out of joining the seminar. And this is a year-long course, year-long activity, which is only course except for wise leadership, which we're going to be talking about later on in the week. Everything else in the ICS curriculum is only one term, right? But this zemi seminar goes across all the 4 terms, and so year-long activity. And throughout this week, you're going to hear the faculty presentations. And then right after this, Shingo is going to kickstart, and followed by I'm going to follow him after this. And so you get to hear each faculty member's seminar hosting faculty members presentation. So this is sort of like a pitch, 10-minute pitch to you, so that you could select, you could choose which zemi or seminar that you want to join. So as Shingo mentioned earlier, that our main campus is 30-40 minutes away, train ride from the ICS campus. And there most of the programs are run in Japanese, but the zemi seminar is originally coming from there. And so the undergrad program, each faculty member typically hosts 10 to 15 students max a year, junior year and a senior year. And then the graduate program also has a seminar system. And then graduate programs typically has much smaller size in a seminar. And we're located in downtown Tokyo. And currently we are ranked #1. And then one of the main reasons for that is this customized learning experience that we can offer, and partly through this seminar system. And so you are one of these 44 students. Right now it's 42, right? The two of them decided to defer and come back next year. And so you're going to be, as a full-time student, you're going to be joining one of our full-time faculty members' seminar. And each seminar is going to host 3 to 4 students each. And so this is one of the slides we typically include in our open campus presentation and other presentation that we typically do. And this is one of the things that we are super proud of. And Zemi and seminar actually gives this student to faculty ratio to 3:1, which probably is something unheard of in any of the top-notch schools around the world. And we could do this because we are intentionally staying small, and we can do this because we are the part of national university, and we could keep the tuition for you to pay at the national university level, not just for the Japanese citizens, but for the international students as well. And we do not really have to worry about business of business school. I mean, business of running business schools because of this, the being part of the national university. The majority of our budget is coming from the Japanese taxpayers' money. And so we could focus on just delivering high quality education experience, learning experience. And so, and the seminar is very, very important part of it. So that's the introduction to the seminar system. And now I will hand it over to Shingo for the next 10 minutes to introduce his seminar. And then I'm coming back to introduce my seminar. Shingo?
Okay, thank you, Yoshi. So let me share my slide. Okay, a seminar presentation, my semi. So first, let me talk a little bit about myself. Okay, so this is my name, and with also my name in Chinese characters. So my last name actually means that big above, but it's actually pretty hard to pronounce even for Japanese, my family name. So I usually go with Shingo, only just Shingo. Okay. And I'm an associate professor, MBA program director, faculty in charge of IT, admission, YLP, so many titles, but those titles don't give me increase in salary. So I'm really feel pity. And I'm teaching 2 courses. One is the required course, quantitative business analytics. It will come in term 1, 2. And also a marketing research and analytics course in term 4. So talking about my background, I actually graduated from Hitotsubashi University. I majored in operations research in the bachelor and master. But while I was in the master program, I actually somehow shifted my interest from operations research to statistics. And at that time, there was no university that has a school or department of statistics in Japan. So the only choice I had is to get out of this country. So I decided to join. Oh, by the way, this is how I was when I was an undergrad student. So I have actually a little bit a different hairstyle at that time. Okay, so
Only a little bit.
just a little bit. Okay, and then I joined the Carnegie Mellon University in US, got a master and a PhD in statistics. And one time I actually appeared in a Carnegie Mellon brochure, and my friend actually sent me a picture, so you can identify me somewhere. Okay, so since I'm a data analyst, so the statistician, I always analyze data. So when I was in US, I mainly work on US airspace data. This is actually the best way to sell myself to business people. So I decided to change my data from airspace to financial data. Okay, so for more than 10 years, I actually worked in the financial risk management research, and especially for the market and the credit risk models. Then I joined ICS. And after I joined ICS, I saw many, colorful, gorgeous people like Yoshi Fujikawa. So I just wanted to do something else than banking. So nowadays, I basically were mainly working in consumer behavior data, like a brand perception, social media analytics. Okay, so this is my formal the profile. But let me talk a little bit more about my personal side. Let me talk about my love and passion. Okay, I spend 45% of my passion into wine. Okay, so I love drinking, tasting. I also love visiting wineries around the world. Okay, you actually can identify a drunken guy here. Okay, so this is one time I went to visit a winery in Nagano with ICS students. Okay, and another 45% is actually into rock music. So I feel so sad because this year Fuji Rock Festival was canceled. So I had nothing to do this summer. So I could concentrate preparing for this foundation week. Anyway, so you actually can identify the happy guy here, okay? And 45 plus 45 is equal to 90. I still have 10%. So I put my 10% of my passion into my job, data science, okay? But since my entire passion is so large, even 10% of my passion is sometimes overwhelming to you. And I have a chance to show it to you in my QA class or MRA class. Okay. So let me switch the topic to my Zemi activities. Okay. And I have many caps, but one of my cap is actually I'm a chief geek officer at iShares. So my Zemi is very famous for playing with this software called R. Okay, so basically we work playing with data and do some analysis using R software, making a nice picture like this, nice picture like this, and nice picture like this. Okay, and also I actually always share my research interest with the students. Recently, I'm in a research project with the Erika Okada and Toshi Akutsu and Satoko Suzuki, and working on the brand personality. Basically, we try to identify what kind of personality people attach to particular brand. So, for example, sorry for showing some Japanese, but this is one of the survey results, and we actually see that Japanese consumer thinks that Disney as very sophisticated and very exciting brand, and Studio Ghibli too. Okay, and on the other hand, Japanese consumers think Uniqlo is quite exciting, but not really sophisticated, just so sophisticated. Okay, and then they think Chanel is a very sophisticated but a little bit boring, and BMW too. Oh, by the way, one of our faculty member, Tom Ito, drives BMW, and looking at others, the Japanese railway is considered to be pretty boring and sophisticated, and Japanese are broadcasting too. Okay, and also, I actually into the social media analytics, the word of mouth analytics. So, for example, in my Zemi, we actually analyzed how people think about 4 different airplane companies in US, and also what kind of words people use to describe different airline companies like that. So it's actually okay whether my Zemi students show some interest in my research topics or not. If nobody is interested in, I just shut my mouth up and do something else. Okay. And besides the research topic, of course, we actually have a fun thing. Okay. And what kind of fun thing we are going to have? Okay. I'm not really party guy, but I love having a good time with students. So that I actually show some pictures. Okay, this is end of my presentation, and I think I used exactly 10 minutes to do the presentation.
Cool.
So let me switch to, let me give the baton to Yoshi.
Thank you so much, Shingo. And now I am sharing my screen back. Okay, so next 10 minutes, let me spend to introduce my Zemi. And I am going to divide this in half myself and then also Zemi. And then also going to share with you this PDF version of the slides and an appendix that I put there, all the students, past, present, their contact, and a little bit of information, background information about them, so that you could always reach out to them and to ask about their Zemi experience. So, so myself, I go by Yoshi and Yoshi Fujikawa, and as Shingo did, I put the Chinese character kanji right here. And I'm now in the faculty in charge of foreign relations, as I mentioned earlier, but I've been very actively teaching at the partner schools around the world for the last couple of years. And I've been leading most of the global strategy of the school for the last decade and a half or so. And I am also the product of Tito Subashi system that I'm the undergrad, I did undergrad and a master's there. Most of my graduate training is in the United States and then also worked over there a little bit before I came back. I grew up in Kyoto and spent 10 plus years in the States, and I came back to 2003 here to join ICS and living with my wife and a 20-year-old and 18-year-old girls who are both born in the States. And so they are all both college students now. Okay, so grew up in Kyoto. How many of you have been to Kyoto? Yeah, great, thank you. And I myself am very, very active and globally. I've been, as I mentioned, living in 10 plus years in the States and visited 30 plus countries. And then I can speak 3 different languages, English, Tokyo Ben, and also Kyoto Ben. And so if you have any questions, I'm an expert on that. And I'm pretty much everywhere on the social media, partly because I'm leading the marketing of the school. So I used to be teaching marketing, but now I do marketing for the school. So I've been working with the Aiko and you know, the Takako, Shoko, Mina, who are here today, maybe Heidi from the main screen, but they are the ones who are communicating, like, you know, what we're doing, the great things that we do to the world, and you are going to be part of it now. So please find me, and then they are like, you know, connect. Let's get connected over there too. My passion these days, and I've been leading digital transformation DX of the school. And so I'm usually the one introducing these things to my Zemi. So you are going to be the first to experience all of these stuff, and as a guinea pig in the positive sense. And so whatever that I'm thinking, you are the first one to be tested. And so, which is good and bad, right? And then if I did the great, and usually you see those like, you know, things that we do in a Zemi is going to be in, you know, the adopted and the other courses in the programs, entire school level, and then eventually to the university level. And so, and then also doing pretty seriously about the training, my trainer, and then myself, and then I have the personal trainer like, you know, 3 times a week. And then I'm a huge geek in the coffee. And so the coffee nerd, as the people call me. And so that's about me and playing tennis, playing ukulele, and go to Kamakura, down to Kamakura to do the Zen meditation, like, you know, on a regular basis. And all of this serious stuff that you could actually take a look at all these details, you know, which course that I'm teaching, and which school students that I've taught before, executive program, and very, very active in the corporate education. And so you can take a look at that. Research-wise, I'm a service management guy, originally from the marketing, and looking at a bunch of different things. All right, and then also serving several boards, both at the private sectors as well as the public sectors, and then also government. And you can take a look at all of these details. But let me just talk about next 10 minutes, talk about my approach to my seminar. And so style that I'm employing is probably similar to Shingo and then others who are natives of the Hitotsubashi, that we see ourselves as a product of the seminar system. So we identify ourselves from what kind of experience that you got. And now what we are doing is that we can never pay back to our seminar faculty members. But now what we're doing is actually pay it forward, right? And so whatever that we got is now it's our turn to pay it back, pay it forward to you guys. And so that's approach that I take to the seminar. So seminar is pretty important for me. And then also the members are going to be considered as the extended family, and try to run the seminar as accessible and approachable and available as possible. Goal is develop future leaders who could share the similar interest as me with mine. And so that we could actually spend a lot of time together of trying out a bunch of new stuff. And typically year one, especially in term one, we go easy. And term 2, 3, 4, we discuss and then decide what we want to do in that year. And for those of you who are in the 2-year programs, the seminar activities that you can join as a second-year student as well. And selection criteria I use is how much impact that I can make through the Zemi activities on your future plan. And so, the bigger the impact that I see in you, that the chances are that probably you can join in my seminar. So instead of just talking about, generally about the seminar experience, let me just share with you some samples. So this past year, we kickstarted our seminar activities in Toranomon Hills. That's where the Venture Cafe Tokyo is housed. So I have pretty extensive network with the startup community in Tokyo. And then so we did it as part of Venture Cafe Tokyo activities in a seminar. And then also I do have the quite frequent alumni visits to seminar. And so whenever they are visiting Tokyo, this part of the world, as part of the business trip, before COVID, of course, and they are going to stop by, and then I invite, and so that they have the chance to get to see the current students have the chance to interact with the alumni members as well. And then I do invite all the current students and alumni members once a year to my place, home, and then we celebrate toward the end of the year, December, either the American style turkey dinner, or maybe the winter, the break kind of celebration. And then also we have a family day as part of the MBA program, and we go to have dinner together. Also, in term 2, 3, 4, what we did this past year is we visited those startup ecosystem, and then they interact with your startup founders, and places like WeWork Shibuya, or Fabit Otemachi, and then others. And then I did surprise birthday, the celebration in classroom. In term 3 and 4, since I was partly spending my spring term at the Yale School of Management this past year, and then also because of the COVID, we did the most of the activities on Zoom, and then also spatial chat and then other platform. You can also take a look at the other years, the Zemi experience in the past years. We do a lot of company visits and field visits and things like that. And one year we did the group project, and many years actually. Some years we do group project. One of them that I just want to highlight, back in 2013, I had the chance to work with the Conrad Tokyo, who has been having a lot of the problems vis-a-vis the competition, the increasing competition in Tokyo, such as Mandarin Oriental, Ritz-Carlton Peninsula, and Shangri-La. And they approached me to ask me to work with them to tackle this issue of how to establish the competitive advantage of this packed industry, in the market. And so we decided to to put this into Zemi group project. And then so my Zemi members they went out to the field research on, especially they asked us to revamp their bar experience and then also their afternoon tea experience. So we invited the research company, marketing research company, to conduct the field research together, so that students can learn how to conduct those the research, field research as part of the project. And because of the bar experience, and then also because of the afternoon tea experience, they asked us to propose to change. My Zemi member require to experience all these afternoon teas offered by all of these competitors. So they have to go to enjoy afternoon teas at Mandarin Oriental at the Ritz-Carlton Peninsula Tokyo Shangri-La Hotel as part of the required research work. And so that's the kind of the things that we do in my Zemi. And so if you're interested, please just to take a look at the rest of the slides. And if you have any questions, please do approach me to ask any questions you may have. So that's my Zemi presentation. Shingo, I have 2 more slides that I want to share with the students for any questions that the students may have for Zemi selection process procedure.
Sure,
so can I just spend the 2 more minutes on this?
Sure, go on.
So everybody, if you go to My MBA space on Canvas, you can find modules, and inside modules, you can find Foundation Week, Seminar Selection Policy and Procedure, and also Seminar Selection Survey. If you click that, you could get all the details of the seminar selection policy, seminar selection procedure. And also, you can find a link. That link will direct you to the survey. And on the survey, you're asked to select your top 4 Zemi that you want to get in. And then you need to pitch yourself. Now your turn to pitch yourself to us, why you want to join this seminar and all of that. And then the student selection process is going to kick in. And so all the details are there. And then if you have any questions, you can also ask Shingo or myself, and then as well as MBA office. And Aiko, who introduced herself earlier, is the one who is going to be administer this whole process. So if you have any administrative question already right now, you could ask now. Otherwise, you can just go visit My MBA module and Foundation Week Seminar Selection Policy and Procedure page. Anybody have any questions at this point? Oh, one last thing, sorry. I am going to take a sabbatical starting this January. So I'm gonna be gone for one of our partner schools. I mean, depending on the COVID, of course, situation, from January through June. For 6 months. So I'm going to be here from now until December, but from January to June, I'm going to be overseas. But I'm going to be running my Zemi remotely, virtually, and which might not make that much difference anyway, because we're running virtually anyway. So, but if you actually manage to come to Japan, I get to see you until December, but I may need to miss you 6 months between June and January to June. But I'm coming back in June before you're finishing up your first year or graduate. I think that's it, Shingo, unless if anybody has any questions.
Then,
so once again, everybody, all the seminar hosting faculty member are going to be showing up during this foundation week, you see seminar introduction slot pretty much every day, like half an hour and an hour, right? And then you get to see their presentation, 10 minutes each.
Yes, that's it. So if you don't have any more question, then we gonna have a lunch break from now.
Yes.
So we are going to start afternoon session from 12:30 Japanese Standard Time. So for those of you who are in a different time zone, be careful.